So what causes the United States billions of dollars each year? According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the United States spends approximately $7 billion each year on teenage pregnancies. The United States has the highest teenage pregnancy rates amongst all the nations, and Texas is amongst the highest in all the states. Unfortunately, the area that I live in, South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley region has the highest teenage pregnancy rates in all of the United States. This is a statistic that's being published by the Brownsville Herald. 1 out of every 24 girls in our area will become pregnant between the ages of 13 and 17. These are very alarming numbers, and unfortunately, teenage pregnancy continues to be a big problem in the United States. Teenage pregnancies are more common in minority races, with Hispanics having the highest percentage and blacks having the second highest percentage. In this presentation, I'm going to talk to you about why teenagers are becoming pregnant, why it's important that we focus on this issue and we decrease these numbers, and lastly, what is being done to prevent teenage pregnancies in America. So why are teenagers becoming pregnant? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, teenagers in a minority household and who suffer from the socioeconomic challenges are more likely to become teenage parents. According to another survey done by teenhelp.com, the suggestion is that some teenagers actually want to become pregnant. And this is due to the fact that they are seeking validation and love that is currently not present in their current situation. They feel that by having their own child, they'll get that validation and love that they so desperately need. Peer pressure is another reason why. It's estimated that about half of all teenagers in high school are currently sexually active. This is again according to teenhelp.com. Teenagers are uneducated about the responsibilities of raising a child. They are careless about their sexual activity. They're having unprotected sex, and so this leads to unplanned pregnancies. Schools are teaching about abstinence and sex, but not so much with contraception. So they don't have all of the information necessary to make a good decision. Drugs and alcohol are also another reason why. When they're irresponsible with drugs and alcohol, sometimes that leads to other things, and it sometimes causes an unplanned pregnancy. So what happens to these teenagers, and why is it important that we focus on decreasing these numbers? Teenage mothers sometimes are not able to handle motherhood and going to school, so they drop out. So a lot of times they don't graduate high school, and they become part of the welfare program. So sometimes they also end up having a repeat pregnancy, so they further complicate things by having another child. It's estimated that daughters of a teenage mother are 22% more likely to become teenage mothers themselves. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, mothers that are unprepared for motherhood sometimes become frustrated, and so this leads to child neglect or child abuse in some cases. Teenage babies sometimes are smaller at birth than babies born to an older mother. Sometimes they're not carried full term, so they're born with health issues or medical issues that'll impact them in their academic career. They struggle in school, so when they do graduate high school, or maybe they don't, they have a hard time finding a good job because they struggle academically. Another very alarming statistic, according to teenhelp.com, is that 13% or sons of mothers have a 13% greater chance of ending up in prison. These are all very alarming statistics and reasons why we need to concentrate and focus on preventing teenage pregnancy. So let's take a look at some of the programs that are being talked about right now. The government is focusing on quality sex education. So So not only are they talking about sex and pregnancy, but they're talking about sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, and more importantly, birth control. They're giving teenagers greater access to birth control so that they can make better decisions and more responsible decisions regarding their sexual activity. Personal values and communications are also being stressed. It's estimated by the National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy that girls who are closer to their parents are more likely to remain abstinent. Japan is amongst the lowest in teenage pregnancy rates. Japan households focus on culture, tradition, and expectation. There's a clear communication as to what is expected of them. So the communication lines are very strong, and you can see it because their teenage pregnancy rates are very low. There's also an increase in national programs such as teen pregnancy prevention and making proud choices. There's a focus on other behaviors such as substance abuse, nutrition, and physical activity. Because the idea is that once they realize or they have the knowledge of how their overall health is impacted, they'll also make better decisions regarding their sexual health. The social media and reality shows such as Teen Mom are helping to raise awareness and give teenagers a reality of what it's like to become a teenage parent. This is according to the National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy. So in summary, we have discussed why teenagers are getting pregnant, why it's important that we decrease that number, and what's being done. We've already seen results. There has been a decline in minority pregnancies. Since 2007, Hispanic rates have declined 45% and 37% for blacks. This is according to HHS.gov. So the key is education, awareness, and communication. If we can continue to push some of these programs and communicate and raise awareness on this issue, we're already seeing the decline in the teenage pregnancies, but we want to continue on that path so that we can let our teenagers, which is our future, to make better decisions and become successful adults and to have a healthy, strong, good life ahead of them. So if you have a teenager or a niece or a nephew that is a teenager, let them know that you fully support them, that you love them, and that there's resources out there for them. Thank you so much.